So tell me, have you ever committed a petty crime?
Well, actually, I've never committed a petty, like a really crime in my life until now. I don't know if like sometimes I just joking around with my friend, like by hiding their items. If I hide it for a long time, so maybe I will hide like for a day or for an entire day, or maybe just a few minutes. I don't know if it's a crime or not, but if someday my friends got furious about that actions, I maybe can be like a criminal that like a theft or something like that. But I wish I would never took it that far. So have you ever witnessed a serious crime?
Uh, well, consider the fact that even any normal crime or actually relatively uh, uncommon for most citizens to begin with. I have never witnessed something like a murder or a school shooting, a gang shootings, thing like that. Probably the most severe crime I have seen would be, maybe just people fist fighting each other. So it was in during my summer camp in USA, in particularly the New York cities. When I was waiting for the bus in the heart of the cities, I saw a two men fighting each other over something that I don't really I don't know. So that's the most serious crime because the fist fighting, and I guess you can call that a crime. Anyway, uh, how can governments reduce crime?
Well, this is a tough question for me. Like I've never think of this before, but in my perspective, I think I can think of one way that could help, like the government could do to reduce the number of crime. I think is to like build the policy, like the law policy, like more stronger, build it more stronger to I think increasing the punishment, like I don't know, like enhance the punishment is the is can be a solution for this problem because when they build the stronger the policy more stronger, so the resident will be afraid of it, and maybe they would not make more crime. Yeah, so that's the only solution that I can think of at the moment. um, is violent crime a big problem in your country?
Well, consider the fact that uh, a lot of Vietnamese are very hot-headed, and that include me. And on top of that, the overall culture in Vietnam is quite I say open, a bit too open. So sometimes people can become very unhinged, like uh, start to maybe something like less serious, like just fist fighting, to even more severe, brutal, or outright vomiting crimes such as mass murder or torture. Things like that. They are all quite common in a lot of in many regions in Vietnam, especially murder, where the gangster and like underground criminal organizations really gets their hands on everything and control a lot of aspects. So things like gang fight and assassination happens a lot in Vietnam, and you can actually see a fun tons of them online. Do you think crime pays?
Definitely, I do think so because that's why punishment for crimes had like invented. Because I think like I believe in like you will reap what you okay, you will get what you give. I think so. I really believe in that method, and definitely when you do some bad thing like you stole people's stuff or you do some serious crime like murdering or something, you would definitely have to pay back something that may be like even worse than what you did. And that's why our community can work because if crimes do not have to pay, a lot of people will become criminals to get what they want. So that's why like law and the jail has invented to punish and to make the criminals pays for their actions. Yeah. Is juvenile crime on the increase in your country?
I think sadly yes. Uh, over the past decade, the amount of juvenile uh, criminals has somehow increased exponentially. Ranging from like bully and directly making physical and mental attacks to even more heinous and serious crimes such as murder, joyriding, uh, and attack people with people who are protected by law. What I mean by that is like police and people along that line. I think this stems from the fact that uh, Vietnamese culture and the state, the economy state of the country as a whole is developing, and so a lot of parents don't really know uh, how to raise their children properly, which result in them being nurtured by the environment around them. Some may become righteous people with a sense of justice and uh, fairness, while other people become cunning and violent individuals uh, who let their emotional outbursts get the better of themselves and commit these such filthy acts. Um, so yeah, definitely. Is organized crime a big problem in your country?
Um, this is a bit. This is a difficult question, but I think that is probably yes, because like in Vietnam, some organized crime do not like too popular to Vietnamese people, but maybe there's a few few gang of criminals, big gang that are like out there, and we just didn't know that those gang exist. Yeah, but there's some case like few years ago when the police have found out like some big organized crime in our country, and the organized crime was really really dangerous. Like they did really bad thing. They did some like a really bad thing for people. something like just selling drugs or violent assault, everything that like every bad thing that we can imagine. They did it, and finally, fortunately, that the police got them. But we can't know that if there any other organized are still out there and haven't got caught by the police. But I hope that we don't have or don't have too much. So, what is hate crime?
Well, hate crime is a broad spectrum. Uh, Honestly, anything stems from uh, maybe like selfishness uh, and maybe jealousy can can turn into a hate crime. For example, racism's body shaming, and things along that line are the example of a hate crime. So, a hate crime, like I said, can be varied. Usually it boils down to the differences in culture, in uh, you know people appearance, and
Mm,
even their gender, and
mm,
those who don't appeal to the rest of the people, they see them as lesser, dehumanize them, or just see them as an error in the community. And then but this hate crime can be very dangerous. It's not just like bullying or cyberbullying, or, just not just verbally abuse, but also physically abuse, especially racism. Uh, like in the 19th, 20th centuries, black people have had suffered a lot. They have honestly went through a lot during that time, and that is an infamous example of a hate crime. So yeah, when can you say it is a crime to do nothing?
this is a really interesting question for me. So for me, when we say that there's a crime to for do nothing, is when the person that saw or experienced a serious crime like abuse or sexual harassment or rape or something kind of like that, but they do nothing. They don't reported the crime. They didn't tell it to the police, so they can't stand up for themselves, or they didn't choose to stand up for themselves because they're scared, um, scared of them the criminals will get revenge on them, or the people that saw or witnessed that kind of crime and do not report it or do something to help the victim. That was definitely the definition of is a crime when you do nothing, because there's a sentence that my grandma had said to me, and I remember it. I really remember it. It's like um, when you saw a crime and you didn't stand up for it, you are definitely the criminals in that case. So that's why I really encouraging people to stand up for themselves or report it, like constantly report if they have saw or witnessed something, some like crimes in their life. And I think that all the people in the world should do this and should know of this to save more people. And I think that there's no one should be embraced for standing up for themselves or for reporting crimes. And Please don't be scared for reporting those crimes. So that's my opinion. Have you ever reported a crime?
Uh, well, you know, uh, a crime to me, it is very uncommon for at least myself to witness any crime. I hardly see any filthy acts for that matter. But probably because I mainly live in very urban, very crowded place, so committing crime there will be significantly more difficult. Consider that the more amount of people, of course, there is an increase in securities and stuff. But I do remember a time when I, well, this may sound very weird, but I did get sexually abused. No, not abuse, assault by one of my classmates. Uh, for example, he touched my bottom, my boo boo part, and you know, saying dirty things. So, of course, I can't take that forever. First, I try to be polite, but then he continued to do that in the worst fashion possible. So, of course, I have to warn him and report him to the teacher. And uh, gladly, he did stop. And I mean, if that guy ever try to do the same thing again, he will get what he deserves. So anyway, that's part one.